It's your boy Dame D from the What Up Though Show. Today we're going to be talking to a special guest who was in an altercation the other day, and I just want to bring a little clarity. She wants to bring some clarity of what happened. I'll go ahead and allow her to introduce herself to the show. You can go ahead, young lady.
I'm Sharita Williams.
Okay. So Sharita, a lot of okay, we're going to be talking about this video. It was a video of you at a Citgo gas station, um, and you had an altercation with a few people. So go ahead and just tell your side of the story of what happened. So everybody can know your side of the story. So go ahead and and just speak your piece.
Well, we all know I had too much to drink, clearly. Everybody knew
Right,
I was drunk, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I pulled it into the gas station is because I was about to go and actually get me something to drink to try to, like sober up a little bit because my baby was in the car with me or
right,
whatever. But I got to calling my people so they can come and get my baby. And
right,
they was antagonizing me before they even started recording. So it looked kind of like bold on my end. And it was like, why would y'all do that? Why would y'all even record me with my son out here? And y'all see, I wasn't bothering y'all at first.
right. Well, I want to say this first and foremost. I watched the video. A lot of people watched the video too. And the questions that a lot of people probably is going to have for you, Sharita, is we understand you may have been going through some stuff, but a lot of
I
people probably
am.
was up. A lot of people probably was talking about and upset that you actually had your son in the car with you that night. Driving and being intoxicated like that.
But see, you gotta understand when it comes to drinking tequila, that sneaks up on you, right? And so that's how I ended up at the gas station because I went to a park to try to sober up.
Right,
That's what people
right.
don't understand. Them people was out there drunk too, but they seen me and they was like, "Oh, bitch by herself, Target." But then once they realized my son was in the car, now it's like y'all trying to help me, but y'all should have did that in the beginning instead of picking up a phone recording me.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, that's what people do. You know what I mean? People, when they see a situation or a motherfucker in a situation or your situation, they're going to record. And that's just what people
Mhm.
do. But at the end of the day, what I can say too, what I did realize once those people they were fucking with you, they were antagonizing you. The one guy was, But what I can say, what they were trying to do was once they realized that your son was in the car, they were just trying to stop you from driving away with your son. They did not
I
know
wasn't
that you was
about to drive though. That's why I was parked there. I wasn't about to leave because I was waiting on his daddy to come and get him.
right. See, and that they didn't know. So I want you to explain that to the people, so they can know that you was not trying to drive off, that you
I
wasn't.
wasn't trying to drive off, but they was bothering me. But I wasn't planning on driving off. I was waiting on them to come and get my baby.
Okay. Because there was a three-part video to the whole situation. A lot of people
Yeah, and
saw.
then I called the police to drive my car home because I was messed up. I let my baby because I didn't want to get caught with my son in the car either, though. So
Right.
I called his daddy. His daddy came and got him, and I called the police. And the police, as you can see, drove me home. So
Yeah, I mean they did. They
I
drove you home
went
and
back.
everything.
I went
Right.
back, and I was talking to the one lady, and I was
Now,
trying
now,
to tell
now,
her.
stop for a second. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the other video that's out. Now, you end up leaving with the police and they took you home. So you
Mhm.
end up coming back to the scene, and that was another video that I saw when a young
No,
lady
that's when I was
actually,
talking to the. But that's the third video. But that's when I was
right,
talking to the
yeah,
lady.
right. That's the third video
But I
where you
went
was
up there
talking
to
to the
tell her
people, the
thank
lady,
you. You know what I'm
and she
saying?
ended up
Because
putting
she
her
did
hands
make
on.
sure that didn't nobody put their hands on me and stuff like that. And then baby girl just came around the side and hit me in my face. Like, why? That's why I was like, why would you hit me?
Right. And that's the part that's the video that a lot of people, is talking about and wondering like what the fuck happened, and
Because
why,
that was
that happened
unnecessary.
like
I
that.
said nothing to that. I was as you if you watched it, I was talking to the other lady. And I was distracted because I'm talking to her. And then the girl just went around, snuck around and snuck me.
Yeah, I thought that was a fucked up situation. She was wrong for that. You know, um, she definitely need charges put on her, because that was assault. You know what I mean? I can see if it was a one-on-one fight, but she definitely saw that you were intoxicated, um, and you wasn't even paying her no attention, and she came around and snuck you like that. That was
Yeah, but
fucked up. You
because
know
I
what
was
I
talking
mean?
to the other lady, and I was like,
Right,
I appreciate what you did and stuff like that. And then she just hard up and hit me. It was like you was trying to go viral off me, like you just wanted to put your hands on me, and it was unnecessary. I don't do
right.
that type of shit.
Yeah, see, and you got to realize when
And
you're
my
dealing with a
thing is,
bunch of
I don't know. I just had too much. Like I said, that tequila stuck up on me, and I was like, let me park. You know what
right,
I'm saying? But they got to bothering me. I was just sitting there chilling, as you can see, but they kept bothering me because it's like, why are you? You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even be interacting with y'all. Y'all shouldn't even be saying nothing to me.
right. Well, like I said in the beginning, the one light skinned guy, he was antagonizing you and fucking with you, but towards the end, once they realized that there was a baby in the car, Sharita, their main concern, what up, though, LaShawn? Their main concern was just trying to make sure that you did not pull off with that baby, and that's why I wanted to bring you on so you can tell your side of the story, because a lot of
Yeah, but
people is
like
going to
I said,
see.
that tequila snuck up on me, and I was waiting on his daddy to pick him up. They should have just, they didn't have to. I understand your concern, but I wasn't going nowhere. That's why I was sitting there trying to sober up.
Well, I want to ask you this question, Sharita. You still was drinking at that time when they was talking
Yeah.
to you. So a
But
lot of
I had that bottle. I had
you
that
got a lot
bottle.
of
No, look,
mothers.
I had
You
that bottle in the car, and I started drinking it because they was fucking with me, and I just that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, I'm already fucked up. You feel me?
Yeah, but
Now
if
I'm
you was
waiting on
trying,
his
not, not,
daddy.
not, not, I'm gonna be biased, but I'm gonna ask some questions too that a lot of people want to know.
Yeah.
If you were trying to sober up, why was you still out there drinking? In front of, out there like that though, Sharita. You know what I mean?
No, if you pay attention, I got out the car, but he was messing with me already, right?
Right.
I got out the car, I pulled the bottle up, and I swallowed it. Fuck y'all, or whatever I said. But they
Yeah,
was
you said a
bothering
lot.
me at that point. At that point, I wasn't, at that point, I was not drinking no more until they got to bothering me. And people
You
don't
know,
know I go through a lot. You feel me? People don't know what I go through at the end of the day. And I felt like that was wrong. My wrongdoing was going back to drinking because they was bothering me.
right, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give you my opinion. Your wrongdoing too was um when you got in that car and you knew you was drinking with that baby, Sharita. Don't ever, and that was the main concern of those people. That should have never got escalated and got to that situation. And I'm just gonna be a good friend and just give you my
Yeah, but
honest
we was
opinion.
coming from somewhere, and like I told you, that tequila snuck up on me. It hit
Right,
me
and
like
it do, and it do, and it do, and
it
I
snuck
understand.
up
And when
on
you
me.
explained to me the situation that when it stuck up on you, you stopped, and you didn't go forward. You end up calling somebody to come get your
To,
child. I mean, that
to
wasn't
get him, and
responsible.
then I
You
had
was
the
you
police
was
drive
you
me
was you
home
was responsible and irresponsible at the same
at the
time. I
same
mean, at
time.
least you took.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. You took you were responsible by calling your kid's dad and having him to come up there to get the baby. But a lot of people is probably a lot of people is probably was upset that you even had the baby in the car and you was drinking at that time. And this is something that I want to ask
But
you.
look, let me
And
let me
this is
do
what
let me put this let me say this too. I know I was wrong, okay?
and let me
But my thing
before you
is,
say
don't
that though,
act
let me
like
say this though,
people
Sarita.
acting like
Uh,
they ain't never did no wrong in their life. I had a bad moment. Yes, I did.
Okay, you had LaShonda Lloyd. She made a comment. She said it was so wrong. Sorry that it happened to you. I couldn't even watch it. We know her name. She made another comment. No more drinking with baby in the car. And this is what a lot of people want to know too, Sharita.
Hmm.
I don't lost my train of thought real quick, but it'll come to me in a second. Oh, it'll come to me in a second. I forgot, but yeah. Oh, this is what I want to ask you. When Wow, I don't forgot just that quick. But yeah, when you pulled up to the gas station and you were talking to the people, they did not know that the baby was in the car. So I'll just start from the beginning and I'll get my train of thought back. Once they realized that baby was in the car, only thing that they were just trying to do was just make sure they actually took the keys from you and make sure that you wouldn't pull off in the car. You know what I mean? And I'm
But
still trying to find my train of thought on a question that I was getting ready to ask you. But
I wasn't about to pull off though. That's
right.
the
See, and
point.
they didn't know that. That's why they took the key. They didn't know that. They thought that you were going to try to pull off. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So my question is, once the police did take you home, why would you drive back up there and you were still drunk?
I
Oh,
had I
this was
had
the question.
inboxed her. I had inboxed her on Facebook, and then I
Right.
kind of said it wrong because I was like, delete that video. So I was like, well, let me go back up here and apologize to this lady because she did look out for my son. You feel
Right.
me? That's why I said baby girl had no reason to hit me. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. And she did. But yeah, that was a
And
sad
my sister
situation.
was with me too. My sister was with me, but she didn't know that that girl was gonna hit me either
Right.
because I wasn't on that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, why would you do that? Even the lady was like, "Why would you that? No, don't do that." She put her
Right.
hand up.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, um, the police did take you home, and what was so crazy that in the video, the young lady she said that you said that she said this bitch had said the police wasn't gonna do nothing but take me home. And at the end of the day, the police did take you home. A lot of people were surprised. Oh, this is the question that I forgot that I wanted to ask you. You were chasing somebody in a parking lot, and that's what they were talking about when you pulled up. You were chasing somebody that they said that he didn't even know you. Do you even remember
I
that?
wasn't chasing nobody.
Well, that's what the people said. They
I
said you
wasn't
was
chasing
driving in and
nobody.
out of the gas station
How am
chasing.
I chasing somebody I don't know?
I'm just telling you
Like,
what the
make it
ladies
make
was.
sense.
Right, right.
That don't make no sense. Why am I chasing somebody I don't know?
Yeah, see, and that's just what the young lady. That's what everybody out there was saying that you was that
I
actually that's
wasn't
how you
chasing
got to.
nobody. They was just looking for a reason to bother me.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
it.
what
They
and
think
that's
I
what
was
they said. How you
intoxicated.
originally got there in the gas station that you pulled up, you was chasing somebody, you went in and came back in, and he ended up pulling off and he was like he didn't even know who you were, you know?
I pulled I, I pulled up to get a water.
Right,
And and chill out for a second because like I said, I didn't start drinking until they start antagonizing me.
right. Okay,
Mm.
so to everybody who saw the video, give everybody your words and what you want them to know how the whole situation went down. Explain to them one more time before we end up ending it. I just want you to speak your piece and let everybody know what happened.
Well, I basically just said everything that happened. I wasn't chasing nobody. Yeah, I was irresponsible for driving and drinking with my son. Yes, I was. You know what I'm saying? But it probably wouldn't have been that bad if it wasn't caught on camera because would nobody would have knew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But my thing is, it's like just keep your hands to yourself because that wasn't right either. Don't put your hands on me.
Yeah, and LaShawn said they did it for clout. I mean,
They
in
did.
today's
They did
society,
because everybody trying to go
everybody's
viral.
always have a camera phone. They're going to try to do it for clout. They're going to try to do it to go viral. And that's what they did. But at the end of the day, I do think that they were trying to actually help you out. You actually called the police on yourself. Which it ended up working out in your favor though.
Because I shouldn't be driving drunk. But most some of the police officers I know, my my god says the father is a police officer, and then my my husband, his brother is the police too.
Yeah,
So
because
I was
they
like, I
actually
didn't
thought.
want to. I wasn't about to try to drive. I wasn't about to
Right.
try to drive. I was like,
Right.
no,
See,
I'm
and I
clearly
knew that. See,
too
but they didn't
intoxicated.
realize that.
And
They
then
they
what
thought
made
that.
me even worse intoxicated is because once I took I drunk that liquor hanging out that car.
Yeah,
I say no, I can't drive like this. So I did call the police. They took me home.
yeah, and that fucked me up. That fucked everybody up who was out there. They said this bitch said the police wasn't gonna do nothing but take me home, and that's exactly what they did. Took your ass home. So before I end this, Sharita, what have you learned in that situation? Just be honest. You hear me?
You froze, Damon.
No, I was gonna say, did you learn anything from that situation? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Did you hear me? What did you get anything out of that situation, or did
You
you
keep
learn anything?
freezing.
Am I still freezing? I think that might be your phone, Sharita, because I'm looking at the live. But what did you learn from that situation? You hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
So did you learn a valuable lesson from that situation, Miss
Oh
Sharita?
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. I'm trying to get myself together behind there. Won't be no drinking for me.
Right. Yeah, see, and that's what I want to tell you. You know, you can't whatever you're going through at the end of the day, I don't think drinking is going to solve
It
any
don't. It only
solution.
makes it worse.
It only makes it worse. You know, in
It
that situation could have went all the way left. You know, I'm glad you did have the ability to be able to think about your son and calling your son's father for him to come and get the baby. Yeah, I hear you.
I'm looking for my pouch.
Yeah. So give everybody your last words, and I'm gonna go ahead and end it, and I'll let you go. So, what do you want everybody to know from this situation, Sharita?
Don't be out here drinking and driving.
There you go. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. Do not be out here drinking and driving. It never turns out right. You know what I
It
mean?
shows don't.
Yeah. You know, so I just wanted to bring her on the show. You know, I really wanted to go live on Facebook so we could have brought the people. I actually had invited the people who actually did that video to come on and speak about it too with us, you know, but they never responded back. So, you know, at least you were able to come on here and tell your side of the story, you know, so people won't just think that, you know, that you was just up there drunk with your baby in the car riding around. You know what I mean? So at least
Yeah,
you
no,
gave your
I
piece
wasn't.
and
I
you was able
wasn't
to tell.
riding around. I wasn't riding
Right.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. I want to thank everybody who made comments. Thank you, LaShawn, for tuning in, making your comments. You know, I don't have anything else to add to this. If you have anything else you want to add, you can go ahead and add, Sharita. If not, I'll go ahead and end the show.
All right, Damon.
All right. Well, look, it's your boy Damn D, and we are out. Peace.